Is it just me, or is everyone really lonely today? Loneliness in adulthood seems to be a growing epidemic in mass proportions today, and it doesn't seem like it's going to get better anytime soon. I just see it in people's eyes when I'm talking to them, even running into them in the street or even at church. I've spoken on how my Saturdays and Sundays I would get depressed at around like 2 or 3 p.m. because I wasn't doing anything, and I thought that everyone really needed to just rest on like a couple days a week or something, right? And then I stopped doing that. It started scheduling stuff in my schedule, and it's made me happier doing the things that I love. Not everything that everyone else does will work for you, right? And on the topic of loneliness, I was just talking to my friend last week, and she totally resonated with what I was saying to her, and I was resonating with what she was saying to me. And she was talking about how when she moved to a new neighborhood, her neighbors, she would see them outside and they'd be like drinking tea or whatever on a hot summer day, in their lawn chairs. And she literally had this growing desire for companionship among friends, right? She would go out there and try to talk with them and communicate with them. They would be like standoffish. And it would just compound these feelings of loneliness in her head. And when I heard this, I was thinking, when someone goes so long without drinking water, even their most hated drink, even poison, turns into something that they would die to have, right? Or when your reservoir of love you have received from another has been empty for so long, even poison seems like a delicacy that you would thoroughly enjoy. Those two things popped in my head. Even poison would seem amazing in me right now because I'm just so empty. I want to fill it with something. And I've dealt with this myself, and I still deal with it now, like I was saying, from time to time. And I've prayed to God about it. I have sought out his comfort for this. And I was at this church that Darius Daniels leads out of Atlanta called Change Church. And he held this like self-development conference that has the denizens of these self-development courses that he runs throughout the year. And it was amazing, man, being in a room full of people that all are striving to accomplish their purpose. Like, you could even take the religion out of it and it would be incomplete for me and for other people, but that's a different topic. But just being in a room with people that are humble and that want the best for the people in the room that aren't themselves, they want the best for their neighbor and themselves. It was amazing. It was so amazing. And I just thought about how, man, it's been years where I've been like psychotically learning and bettering myself. And I entered that room and the loneliness that I felt just like dissipated. Like God answered 5,000-fold there. And it has been amazing. It has been amazing to see the things that I've been praying for come to fruition. Because I was really lonely, man. There'd be weekends where, just like a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I about didn't go to that event because I just thought it was going to be another like thing where I was going to learn a new subject and I'm in the season of execution and I didn't want to fall into that endless spiral of learning and learning and learning without executing on anything. And so I went, and man, I just felt so much love. People came up to me from everywhere and were like, Cody, man, I love when you speak, because we have these weekly Zoom meetings in those self-development programs that Darius Daniels runs, right? And it made me think that you have no idea how impactful you are upon people. Like, that's what relationships can do. And speaking on loneliness in the current day and age, like, you go on YouTube and some of the most viral videos are about loneliness and how adults are like, I have no friends. And that's, I can relate to that in a way, because even though I have a ton of friends, like numerous amount, I have a numerous amount of friends. A lot of them, it's interesting how you can be in a room crowded with people, yet you believe that no one else can really relate to what you're saying, or the deep-seated thoughts in your head, or the passions that you have. And the ugly truth about that is you may be correct. That may be right. God had me in a season of isolation, and now I can see why. Because now there's moments where people are coming in my life now, and I'm just talking to them about things that I've been living out for years, seeking my advice and wisdom on stuff, which is crazy to me. And so if you're out there and you're lonely and you're waiting for someone to come, pray about it. Have the faith that God will provide, and He will. Have faith in the isolation. There's a reason for it. And if you don't believe in God, you should still be confident in who you are and understand that isolation has purpose. Isolation has purpose. There's a series that I watched, True Detective. It's probably my favorite piece of cinematic art of all time. And this detective, he's investigating this case, and he goes to this pastor that he spoke to in the past, and now in the current day and age, he's working at, I believe it's an auto mechanic shop. And he comes up to him, and the pastor's like drinking alcohol and does not look like his old self that he's seen when he was preaching, right? And there's a moment where the detective asks him, he says, "So what happened? Why'd you stop preaching?" And he said, "All my life, I talked about the closeness of God, or getting to the closeness of God." And he said, "What I found is what real closeness is: silence." And that is so true. I can't tell you how true that is. I have grown more with God in silence and in isolation than I ever have in a crowded room. And maybe that's specific to my life and my calling, but there's a reason why you're isolated, and you should trust God for it. He'll bring you people when you're ready. He'll bring you people when you're ready. And during those seasons of isolation, it can really mess with you. It's like you see other people have friends and you're like, dude, all these people are getting along and they seem to genuinely love each other. And it'll make you think, man, there must be something really completely wrong with me. Because especially in the digital age, like you'll see people on social media having all these friends, and you'll see these like snapshots of people during great and loving and fun times they're having with other people and their relationships. And it's like, trust me, for one, the things you see on social media doesn't completely encompass that person's life. So the understanding you may have of that said person you're looking at may be incomplete. Two, it's okay. It's okay to be alone. It's okay that your season does not reflect the season of others. It's okay. Have confidence in who you are. Have confidence in your gifting. Have confidence in God's timing. Have confidence in it. Because there's nothing wrong with you. That's a lie. And another thing that I see people fall into is they'll stick around friends and places where it's not really good for them, but they'll do that just to not be alone. Like if you're continuing to say things in the group and no one listens to you, stop talking to them. Stop talking to them, because you are conditioning yourself to believe that your words have no value. If you're okay with speaking and no one listening ever, no one valuing your words ever, it's going to lessen the value that you perceive yourself as having. And that's ridiculous. It's complete bullshit. Don't listen to it. That's a lie. You are valuable. And in the time that has been orchestrated for you to go, you will go to where you need to be when you need to be there. It's okay to be alone. If your friends won't listen to you, find other friends. You're too valuable for that. Pay attention to what you're paying attention to and who you're giving your attention to, and pay attention to how they're paying attention to the words that you're saying. If they don't care, then find new friends. You can love them from afar. You can pray for them. And you can trust God that their life will be 100% complete, even without you in it. Absolutely. 100%. It's okay to be alone. Loneliness is an epidemic. I've spent many days where on this floor, I would just like be bawling because I was so lonely, man. And I know it wasn't absolute truth. Like it was just a feeling. And I was like, God, I have faith. But right now I want human companionship, like my human frailties of my mind are contaminating my existence. And I just want you to break me free of this. And I was like, God, I know that I'm bawling right now, but I know you have something for me. And I know. So in those seasons, you just have to act out in isolation, act out in faith. Use that time wisely and trust God that he'll bring the people in your life that you need. It's all good. It's all good. It's more than good. It's blessed.